Hello there. I hope everyone is well today. Yesterday, I was talking about some things as they relate to overall big picture and what it is that's happening here with the Optimized You series and living blueprints. And when I bring this into organizations in terms of the how advantage. And yesterday, I was talking about just behavior change and maybe having the courage to make some adjustments in order to make better things happen in your life. And I heard something yesterday that was really good perspective, and it's something that I believe, and I think it's important to say, and that is that this is not so much about thinking that we can control events or taking control. And one of the actual chapters of my book is talking about, it actually says taking the seat of control. And we know that we don't have control, right? I mean, things can come up that we didn't plan for, and it's all about how we react to these experiences in life or at work. And it's life, right? I mean, actually life would be kind of boring if we didn't have curveballs once in a while. Sometimes we might like fewer of them or not all in succession, but it really is more about how we experience the events and control of how we experience the events more than actually controlling the events. And by doing the various things that I talk about in terms of trying to make adjustments in your behavior and the way you approach things, it can really help to align you in a way that you can have a different experience of a very similar event. And last week I was sharing how exhausted I was and how Wednesday had been kind of a series of curveballs when my road was being paved and I had to use a different train station and all of these things. And when I was reflecting about it at the end of the day, knowing that how I would have thought about that day 5 years ago is very different in terms of how I experienced it today. Not only, my opinion of how the day went, but how I actually was in my day and how I was with my participants as I was training that day. So I still had this commitment to serve and deliver at work and to the people in the room, and really, being the best version of myself in that moment, even though circumstances weren't always pointing or helping me do that. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. It's really about shifting our experience of events more than actually controlling events. And we can shift our experience by aligning, and aligning can be done by some of the things we've been talking about in terms of, making plans, even though the plans don't go exactly according to the way we wrote them down. By setting things in a course, we're setting intention, and that absolutely shifts our perspective around the experience of what is happening. And when overall we can focus on the big why, the big goal, the big thing that matters. If things line up to that, then all is good. Sometimes our to-do list is lined up with one of those big goals, but the to-do list doesn't happen exactly the way we planned it out. But at the end of the day, if you are pretty much aligned with what that big thing was, awesome. And I think, I'm not a parent, but I see a lot of parents bash themselves when they're not doing 100% of the things they could be doing for their child. So they might even have a to-do list that goes around the things that need to be done in terms of their parental responsibilities. At the end of the day, were you overall focused on the well-being of the little human that you're bringing up into the world? And it's more about that alignment and that love and that support than it is about checking off all the items that may or may not have been on the list. So again, this is about adjusting experience. And this is also, all of these things apply in the workplace too, and adjusting our behavior at work the best that we can, adjusting our experience at work, even when things don't go the way we want. And if the team has some amount of focus on the bigger why, it can really help when work feels like you're just in the weeds all the time. Are you, at the end of the day, did you serve your customer well? And I don't care what type of job you have, everyone has a customer. I mean, in my role in a management consulting firm, my customer is largely the associate base. But the managing directors who run the firm, I mean, their customer is our client, right? The people who actually pay our bills. And throughout the firm, every single person has a customer. So at the end of the day, did I treat my customers the way that I'm proud of? In a way that is aligned with how the business is supposed to operate, and how can I best bring that forward? So I hope that everyone's having a great day. I hope you'll join me tonight for the anniversary edition of Optimize Youth Chapter 4. It's all about chores, and chores sound so humdrum, but chores are the things that when they're not under control, these are maintenance items, they can become mountains. So a chronic issue can become an acute issue, something that just kind of builds over time, can become a major issue if we don't address it. So we'll be talking about that tonight. I hope you will join me, and I hope you're having a great day.